It's time for the Mogul Mail.
Once again, gotten myself into some drama. I'm kind of injecting myself into this one, but for some context, if you missed Moist Critical's video yesterday, he talked about some streamer drama that's been going on and gave his take on it. I'll just give you this first little intro.
We're going to talk about a controversial topic, Fansly advertisements on Twitch.
Now, that's the new hot drama to talk about these days, and originally I wasn't going to say jack shit about this. I wasn't mentioned at all in this video or really in any of the other conversations that I've seen, but it kind of felt like this because the entire conversation has stemmed from the Streamer Awards, my girlfriend's event, and all the Fansly hate has been directed at her, and then me with my chess boxing event that the primary sponsor, the biggest funder of it was Fansly, sleeping soundly, snoozing.
That's holy shit. I didn't even think about that. Wait a minute. That didn't even fucking cross my mind.
Rather than just lie down and imagine none of it's happening, I'd at least give my opinion, my take on it. And if you don't know, for a little bit more context, Fansly is like an adult-oriented site where you can subscribe to get like usually risque, usually pornographic content from creators that you might know because oftentimes those creators are also Twitch streamers. It's kind of like OnlyFans, but they've dominated the gaming space based off their marketing efforts and who is making the content on the website. That's it. That's the skinny of it. You get it. Bing, bang, boom. And it all started because during the Streamer Awards, which was also sponsored by Fansly, this ad was played.
Free trial of some of our hottest creators. On top of that, sign in using your Twitch account and see which of your favorite streamers are already creating adult content on Fansly. Fansly has a whole algorithm dedicated to discovering new content and creators through the Fansly For You feature. Swipe and discover today.
A very tame giggle as if someone came...
Yeah, and people were calling Charlie a hypocrite from this because he didn't admonish it, but he did admonish Aiden Ross showing porn to his viewers. And Charlie basically spends 12 minutes telling you 12 different ways why those are not the same thing. And then at the end also adds on that I also don't think it's okay to have Fansly as a sponsorship. So really, Charlie did nothing wrong in this situation. But me, I'm watching this. I'm eating my popcorn. I'm like, yeah, they are different. I do think showing porn directly is different than a website that could link porn. And then he was like, but Fansly sponsors are also bad. And I was like, oh, son of a bitch, I do those. I do those a lot, in fact. Now, to wrap up real quickly, the Streamer Awards thing.
This was his take on this.
Her comparison was asked, but the point of a Fansly ad being bad for a minor-based audience still holds. Well, then extend it to all of Twitch, because minors can easily just go to the hot tubs category right now, and you get a lot more pornography out of that than that one Fansly ad. But yeah, I mean, yeah, of course, advertising Fansly, OnlyFans, or anything in front of an audience that has younger children on it, it's always going to be not a great decision. It's one of those things, yeah. Her comparison was asked, but the point of...
So I'm going to stand by my opinion, chat. I'm standing by my opinion. I don't care if people disagree. I think, first of all, a lot of the hate that Cutie Cinderella is getting is literally just because women on the internet need to villainize women on the internet, must do anything possible to villainize women on the internet, which... I mean, it completely flew over my head as well, considering that I didn't even realize that, or didn't even think about the fact that Ludwig also was taking a Fansly sponsorship for chess boxing. But I stand by my opinion that if you specifically say, hey, to the adults in the audience, if you want to go look at adult content, here's where you can go see it. I think that is akin to playing a Bud Light ad at the Super Bowl. As long as you are not advertising to kids, like if Bud Light or like a vaping company was like, hey, teenagers, this vaping would make you look really cool, I would be like, that seems really problematic. To which I think some people will disagree and be like, well, but the problem is that alcohol is really hard to get because you need to show your ID or you need to find someone else who's willing to commit a crime for you. To which I say, then why don't you take it up with the legislation? Why not make it the case that you have to show age verification to look at porn on the internet? We are fine with sharing our IDs with Instacarters who go buy alcohol for us. Why not in this regard? You have a problem with the ability for teenagers to get porn easily. Not for this. You know? And you have to press that you're 18 when you go on these websites. So, yeah, I think people are upset about the wrong thing, about the wrong people, and I think it's very silly. I think it's very, very, very silly.
Here's Cutie reacting to the ad.
On top of that, sign
Probably should have seen these ads before he played them.
in using your Twitch.
She's honest there. She said she didn't look at these ads before they're played, which sometimes that's how sponsors operate. But me watching them, I'm like, oh, okay, so chess boxing was presented by Fanly. Title sponsor, literally in the title itself. I had a whole dramatic reveal.
What's going on in the middle of the ring?
Look up. Because we have the Fansley Sky table.
Holy smokes!
I mean, you can't get more dramatic. Look at me.
This table will be where the magic happens, not just for Super Smash
Look at
Bros.
this.
I had people cheering for a goddamn table. And that's not where it's ended. I mean, obviously, Jerma's used Fansley before, which he was on the stage with me. Fansley instant replay from his baseball event.
Just rips the cover off that ball.
And then in a show that I hosted with XQC Juiced, I got Fansley as the sponsor. That was the main sponsor that we were able to secure. Originally, the sponsor that I used to use all the time, the one that would always be reliable for me, was Coinbase. Coinbase sponsored my Mogul money. They were supposed to sponsor XQC's Juiced, and XQC signed off on that. He was like, yeah, I love Coinbase. And then everybody was like, crypto's way too cringe. And Coinbase let go a lot of people, and they were struggling, so stopped using them as a whole. But here's a point to talk about. What is okay and not okay to use as a sponsor.
Also, I'm going to say one other thing. Crypto is like way worse than showing a Fansley ad. It's way worse. I think the problem with things like crypto is that they promise and they suggest the idea that they are a profitable venture. And they're like, no. The coins are going to the moon. You need to give us your money now. Whereas porn doesn't pretend to be anything other than porn. It's just like someone with their OnlyFans being like, hey, do you want to see porn of me? Okay, you can subscribe and then you can see porn of me. At least it's honest living, you know? Crypto's like a step below gambling. I mean, crypto is it's a fucking scam. Like crypto, I've spoken to people who are like, they make 6 figures working in finance. And I was like, okay, no, I'm pretty sure I've done the research, but I just need to make sure. You're a professional in your field, right? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, crypto is a scam, right? Like NFTs, they're a scam, right? Like that market is artificially inflated and that bubble's going to pop. And they're like, oh yeah, 100%. If you can make money on it, make money on it before it pops. But that's a bubble for sure. It's completely artificially inflated. So it's a scam. It's a complete scam. 100% complete scam.
The answer, kind of boring. It's what is aligned with your ethics and morals, what you personally think is okay. And that should be different for everybody. But there's generally like a guardrail, like you're at a bowling alley, but you keep hitting the gutter. So you get the guardrail of what is okay and not okay according to like the public conscious. The way I determine it is the same way I just said it. It's what aligns with my ethics and morals. So it's kind of subjective. But I'll tell you before I jump into exactly what I'm cool with and not cool with about my ethos as a whole. Because when I switched over to YouTube, I made a specific mental switch that I would no longer get money directly from my viewers. And I put that in quotes because at the end of the day, I still only get money because of my viewers, but I get them from their views and their attention rather than their wallets directly. And before that, most of my money came from subscribers or donations. But since I've switched over to YouTube, I changed all of my subscribers or memberships to $1. And I stopped all donations. They're all capped at $10. And I don't even get any of those dollars anyway. They go directly to my moderators. It just felt weird to me to receive dozens, if not hundreds, if not thousands of dollars from an individual when I know I'm doing very well because YouTube signed me a big old paycheck. Thank you, Susan. Please sign it again. that's the gist. So I would rather be getting like a few pennies for your views and for your attention from different sponsors, from YouTube ad rolls, than I would money from you directly. Does that make sense?
I am looking forward to the day that I potentially can do the same, because I've said it before and I will say it a million more times, just as many times as I need to. You don't need to pay to watch the stream. You don't need to pay to enjoy the stream. You can, if you are enjoying the stream, that's all I care about. If you are coming to the stream, you're having a great time, maybe you send a couple chats, maybe you don't send a couple chats, and you leave, that is great. It means that I've done my job and I am being a good streamer. I am hanging out. You guys are hanging out with me and we're having a good time. Unfortunately, the sad reality is Twitch is completely fucking me and I don't have any other sources of like revenue other than content creation, other than the direct support. It is really cool to see people who, when given the opportunity and the ability to make money that doesn't rely on taking that money from audience members or community members or whatever, either through like $5 subs or donos or whatever, and they actually use that money for other things, I think that that's really cool. I think the day that I can do that, I would be really, really fucking happy. So yeah. So to anyone who does gift subs, I really do appreciate it. It really means a lot, because in my eyes, the only requirement to enjoying this stream is to enjoy the stream. That's it. There should be no other barrier to entry. So anyone who does donate or sub or gift or anything, it means a lot. It really, really does. Dragon Llama, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Thank you. Pack Food, thank you for the tier 1. Nico, thank you so much for the gift sub. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much.
DNML.
Oberga, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The switch I made, which, by the way, people I think are more and more making a decision that they don't like advertising. They don't like free stuff. Maybe they prefer a paid subscription service where you don't have to watch ads. That might be like a cultural shift, which
JT Thunder, thank you. Thank you so much for the Prime.
Would just have to adapt to. So anyway, let's get to my ethics and morals of what I think's cool, what I think's not cool. Why did I take a Fansly sponsorship? If you guys don't know, it's kind of a downturn right now. There's not a lot of people who are out and about trying to sponsor events, at least not as many as there were a year or 2 years ago. It has dried up a lot. So Fansly,
from people I've spoken to that are in the entertainment industry, they've said that currently right now there's like a recession on like more luxury goods. So in general, it's been harder to secure ads. It's been harder to find sponsors, etc.
He's been one of the more reliable sponsors to work with. And honestly, I've been talking to them about sponsoring more events later this year. So, you know, I did say that I'm only guided by my ethics and morals. That was kind of a lie. I'm also guided by what the viewers would think is cool. For example, a sponsor wants you to look at their ad to maybe sign up for it. But if you guys all collectively decided, or the majority did, that the sponsor I'm using is super cringe, well, then it'd be a failure of a sponsorship. You guys would all shit on it. The sponsor would be upset. They wouldn't be happy with me. I wouldn't be happy because I'm not succeeding in creating a broadcast that's sustainable that I can do again in the future. So I would stop doing it. So there is another guiding principle, and that's all to say that your voice matters in this situation. If you're like, hey, Ludwig, Fansy's too far, or hey, Ludwig, I don't like when you did it with Coinbase, that'd be chill. In fact, that's part of why I stopped using Coinbase in the first place. Now, for me, maybe this is my European background.
Aw,
I care less about porn.
Thank you, it's Hassan Abihead. Thanks. That's really nice of you.
Care less about nudity. I don't have this in my mind.
My European background. Motherfucker, you're an American. Don't pretend.
A group of kids who I'm concerned about saving, and that's how I decide every moral or ethical decision, is what these group of kids that are imaginary would care about. We should stop gambling because of the kids. We shouldn't show anything that's adult content because of the kids. We shouldn't advertise alcohol. I shouldn't do drinking streams because of the kids. I don't give a fuck about the kids. I don't cater my content directly towards kids. I do a lot of gambling. I do a lot of drinking. I do a lot of swearing. I wouldn't say that if you're a kid, I'm a channel that you should necessarily watch. Maybe this one because it's more drama. It's more straightforward. But my main channel.
I actually love the fact that I do politics, chat, because I feel like I weed out a lot of kids. I'm pretty sure the last time I did a poll in chat, like the majority of viewers were like adults. I think like the smallest group of people were actually under 18. and the vast majority of people here are like adults, because like the material and like the type of content is so, most of it is so dense that people aren't just like, younger people are just not interested. Most. So yeah. Also, Cap, thank you for the gift sub. Thank you.
Yeah, I get it to some debauchery.
Boomer.
I used to take a poker sponsor. I only stopped because not my ethics and morals, but it would be too hard to argue against sponsored gambling, specifically for slots, and then still allow sponsored poker, which I view as different. That's a different line to me, which some people might call me crazy for. The way I see it is sponsored gambling, like slots or blackjack, has a house edge. You are guaranteed to lose money. It is an inevitable fact. The longer you play, the more money you will lose. And sponsored gambling is a little weird because
you will lose. Yeah, it's the reality is that gambling and casinos and any type of casino that exists online or not online or whatever, you are supposed to lose. They make money because the odds are stacked against you. There are some that are slightly more skill-based, so things like poker. You could totally have a fair poker tournament, and there is a lot of skill that poker players have, that obviously if you've never played poker, you will probably lose, and you will probably lose against the other people that are better than you. But when you're playing slots, you are supposed to lose money. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what's supposed to happen. But did you know 90% of gamblers quit just before they hit it big? Stop. I can't fathom how people think that a software casino isn't against you. Yeah. The house always wins is a saying for a reason. Mm-hmm. Yep. The protect children is such a straw man too. Yep. Mm-hmm. It's nonsense. And if you have skill in a poker game in a casino, they break your knees. Yeah. So, to be clear, by the way, if you're playing poker in a casino, it still can be rigged. If you're playing poker with friends or that's made by that's being hosted by some neutral third party, chances are it's not rigged.
This segment is brought to you by Fansly, where Denims hasn't posted in over a month.
Stop.
Denim cry.
Oh my God, stop. Listen, I've just been going through it, okay? Protect the children, but when guns are the problems, then protect the guns. Yeah. But you could totally play poker and not be like a gambling addict, and it can be a space where you aren't it isn't rigged for you to lose, you know?
Getting paid by this sponsor to gamble money I normally would not gamble, and then I would occasionally get wins I would not get and celebrate them as if they are as legitimate as any other win. I think that's weird. I think all sponsored gambling should stop. Having said that, I've never been against gambling content as a whole. If you go back to any of the videos I made about gambling, I always said end sponsored gambling, not end gambling. I love poker. Poker is one of the main games I played in college. I allegedly ran an illegal online poker ring for a while. And so I took poker sponsorships because you're playing against another human. And oftentimes when I was sponsored, it's because the house takes a rake, so they get a little bit of money, but you can still be a very winning player if you have studied more. And of course, you have luck and variance on your side.
There is some skill. Not to say that poker is all skill. There's definitely luck involved in poker. I mean, what hands you get are going to impact your play, obviously, 1 million%. There is no skill in slots. None. Zero. No, but I can press the button faster.
Anyway, but that's kind of where my line is. I don't take a lot of sponsors for things that I'm against using. That's kind of where I make my line, right? It's like if I wouldn't play this gacha game, then yeah, I probably shouldn't play it on stream for 2 hours because it's a little disingenuous. But sometimes I also break that too, right? I was sponsored by G Fuel for a while, but I was still drinking coffee every morning. Now I'm no longer sponsored by them because I think they're kind of a piece of shit company.
Yeah.
But a lot of the streamers who are sponsored by G Fuel don't even drink that shit. It's way too much caffeine and taurine, and they just
True.
get a little cup of coffee in the morning, and then they pretend to drink G Fuel. Is that chill, right? What about people who are sponsored by gacha games? You know, do you think that's chill? What about VPN services that overhype their quality? What about free to...
This is like, I really try my best about this. What are you talking about? Have you not seen Hassan's Get It Twisted card? That's obviously a skill. That clip was so funny. This is my biggest thing as well. Like, I just refuse to take a sponsor. If I can help it, I refuse to take a sponsor of like a product that I would just never use. Ever. I just don't want to take a product by it. Like, I just don't. I'm not interested. Like, I really wanted to get a Warby Parker sponsor because I actually really like their glasses. I really wanted to take a VPN sponsor, not because I believe in like the privacy stuff, but because I think if you want to avoid Twitch ads, using a VPN is a good way to try and avoid Twitch ads. Or if you have a Netflix subscription and you want to be able to watch different shows, a VPN is very good for that. But I refuse to read off their like talking points of like, oh, it's better for your privacy. It's not. It's not. It does jack shit for your privacy. Oh, we don't like store your data and sell it. Doubt. So no Manscaped then? I use Manscaped. Are you kidding me? Manscaped is great. I don't know why they don't have like a Womanscaped. It's a great product. Are you kidding me? Tom Scott did a great video on VPNs. Oh, yeah. Nord actually got in trouble for mishandling user data, if I recall correctly. Yeah. Ladyscaped. Why are people posting question marks? Do you people think that women don't grow hair? Chatters are like, this woman uses a Manscaped product? It's just a trimmer. Sometimes you just want to trim. You know, No, women don't grow hair and they don't poop. This is known. Oh. It's like people, you never heard of a bush before? Come on, guys. Let's be real. Okay? Let's be real. Let's be real for 2 seconds. Okay? Denims is actually using a wig right now and painting on eyebrows. Women are purely hairless. Yes, George W. Bush. The one that did 9/11.
Download extensions that save you deals but might also sell your data. Is that chill to advertise? I think the reality is that everybody will draw the line right below what they do and then maybe admonish everything below that line as well. And everything above that line is okay with them and they have no problems with. But the power of the viewer is to change that line. So if you see a streamer or creator that you like, that you think is being a little too liberal with where they push their line, then you tell them to lift that line. You tell them to get a little more strict. Hey, I don't like it when you have Fansly as a sponsor. I don't like it when you have Coinbase. I don't like it when you have a VPN. That's all very legitimate things to feel as a viewer. And the feedback, I promise you, is always read. And whether it's acted on or not is to the judgment of the streamer. And I'm an open guy, so I'm down. I'm down for a conversation to figure out what's what. In my mind, an adult-oriented site doesn't bother me. I think it's fine. I think porn is chill and people can look at porn, and a site like Fansly where the creator directly profits off of it as opposed to all the shit that happens on the more conventional sites like Pornhub are...
That's also a big thing for me as well. Like, I would never, ever in a million years accept a traditional porn company sponsorship. I would never, ever in a million years accept like a Brazzers sponsorship. I don't care how much money they paid. They are a shitty platform that actively abuses women, that actively has bad practices, that actively gets people into predatory contracts, that actively pushes people's boundaries to get them to do more and more crazy stuff. I refuse. I'm sorry. It's a platform that a lot of people have spoken up about and said that the way that they host their business is very shitty and it's very, very questionable. And I'm not saying, chat, to be very clear, if you've watched porn on shitty, unethical websites, it doesn't mean that you're a bad person. And I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I think there's a very big difference between using a platform in the privacy of your own home and getting a sponsor, being paid money to promote that platform. There's a fucking huge difference. And I refuse. I just refuse. I refuse to take it. And I think if you were to take something like that, it'd be really gross. Whereas at least with like OnlyFans and Fansly, I can know that the vast majority of the content is made by creators and they get to draw the limits where they want to. I can support that. I can no longer tolerate your silence on the matter of your perfect cat, a cat that understands a nail trim is an act of grooming and licks your hand in reciprocation. Well, he actually doesn't like it, but he puts up with it. He'll bite the clipper because he doesn't like the clipper, but he doesn't bite me. But yeah, Ithia, thank you so much for the 8 months. Thank you.
Is a wholly good thing, and I don't generally mind doing it. I don't generally cater my content towards kids, and I don't consider the kids when I'm making my content. When I'm making a literal event that people are supposed to punch each other in the face, where half the time I'm getting drunk on stream or taking a gummy and playing Super Autopets, I'm not thinking about the kids. I'm not like, oh, should I be a good influence here? All I'm trying to do is be a good person to the world and make things that I find entertaining and I watch. That's it. So anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know. Thought I'd just give my 2 cents on this. I've been rambling for a little bit now.
Let me let him finish.
But I hope you have a good one. Hopefully this is the end of all the drama. No more drama this week. But let's make it a dramaless week. That'll happen.
Clueless. It'll be a dramaless week. Clueless. Yeah. Love it. That was actually really, really good. That was a great Mogul Mail video. That was great. Good for him for bringing some flack to himself. I gotta be honest. I think he could have very easily stayed under the radar and been like, I don't receive Fansly sponsors and I'm not going to talk about it. Talk about the fact that it's just boxing. Blah, blah. So, you know what? Fucking good for him that he could recognize that and that he spoke on that. I am very happy for Cutie that she has someone supportive in her corner. Fucking great. Fucking good for them. Good for them.